Connor's here. Let's go about Rob's. Okay, guys, welcome to another episode of The Unusual Suspects. I'm your host, Vincent Oshana. I don't even know why I got to tell them I'm the host. They know who I am, but for the new people, I'm Vincent Oshana. And guys, as you guys can see behind me, it's my birthday. My mom, thank you.
Congratulations.
I don't care. This is, I don't know if you guys, I hate the most uncomfortable moment is when everybody gathers around you and they're like, hat, and they sing, and you're like, me. I don't like it. I don't know if you guys are like that. By the way, I want to ask the chat.
Well,
I want to ask the chat.
But then that happened to you yesterday?
I hate
in front of 25,000, 30,000 people live on the internet.
Live. I despise the singing, and your birthday to me is your Mother's Day. She did it. What are you basically saying? People are like...
You're saying your father's penis worked and your mother's vajayjay worked.
That's exactly...
Congratulations to you.
Thank you, Mom. Yeah, exactly.
And they were patient enough.
But that doesn't sound good on a birthday card.
No, that does not sound good on a birthday card.
Actually, it makes for some really good birthday cards. Just
yeah, but not
appropriate.
Yeah, but I do want to know. I want to ask in the chat, do you guys like it when people are like, happy birthday, and you, or is it just another day for you? Because I'm getting 1,000 messages on Facebook right now, which I don't even check. But anyway... for everybody that's out there that said happy birthday,
be less lovable, Vinny.
I love you guys. I didn't do anything. I've been eating, pissing, pooping, and just taking up space, and people are celebrating me. But I love you guys. But that being said, guys, let me go around. We have David Freiheit in the house. Rob Gargiulo, who's definitely watching porn right now.
Hello, Internet.
Connor, he's here. He's alive. He's in the moment. And Umberto, he just got off of the slopes. Were you doing like the...
You already know.
The random slopes?
And I'm on the chat.
I love it. And he's on the chat. And
Yep.
I want to, this is personal if you don't mind.
Right.
Have you ever had sex with those on?
Can't confirm or deny.
It
Can't
was an
confirm or
awful,
deny.
awkward silence. But they say pit viper on them for those who can't see.
It's a
those
pit
are the pit
viper.
vipers.
Oh, cool company. Sponsor me right now.
Yeah. Pit Viper. Umberto's the guy. But guys, we have a lot of amazing, crazy stories today. I'm going to go through with them really fast, and then we'll get into it. I'm going to be Taylor Swift. She's talking kind of crazy in her lyrics. By the way, she has the top 14 spots, Kel, for music. She has all the top, first time ever, all the Billboard. She's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 14.
Well, it's a numbers game. She released an album with...
She's 100. Yeah, bro.
Well, first of all, that just shows you that it's fundamentally corrupt how they do it. It's sort of like the New York Times bestseller. They can manipulate.
Exactly.
Well, also when it's a numbers game and you put out an album with 31 songs on it, it's kind of hard not to.
Well, by the way, and when you have billions of minions, just Swift, Kelly, I'm so sorry. Kelly is flipping out right now because Kelly loves her, but that's ridiculous. Well, the top 14. Good. Like people are like, you're just a hater. No. I'll get into why she's a little weird. And then Justin Bieber, he posted something the other day that had people worried. And I personally, I have my own opinion on what's going on. I want to get your guys' thoughts. Connor's going to be talking about this AI hoax, and I have a photo to show at the end of that I think you guys are going to love. Humberto, babies and how it's getting political.
It is political.
Babies now is political. Everything's political.
If you make babies, you're a fascist.
Okay, got it. Perfect. And Viva, Donald Trump's criminal content. I already know you were seething. When I came in here, your ears were red.
It's enough to make the most polite Canadians drop the F-bomb more than they should.
And didn't Trudeau just pass on capital gains?
Oh, no, yeah, they're going to increase capital gains. That's a little bit more subtle. They're increasing...
Increasing by what, 66?
No, because they're increasing it to 66%. Increasing it to tax on 66% of your capital gains, which is 50%. So it's just tax until there's no one left to tax, and then you wake up in Venezuela, but it's up north.
Okay, and guys, so before we get into that, Monect, the Monect app. Guys, if you haven't downloaded Monect, I'm telling you guys, I got 100 Monects yesterday for my birthday, and it wasn't just birthday, it was everything from well wishes to Vinny, I need advice with my relationship with this. Guys, and by the way, and if you yourself are an expert, you can get on Monect, download the app, put your bio, put your link, tell people what you do. Rob Gargiulo is on there right there. If you want anything about podcasting, about stand-up, comedy, you name it, fatherhood, Rob Gargiulo is there. Who else is on the... Who else we have on there? Is
that's Vivek Ramaswamy.
That's Vivek. That was Vivek.
Who is that?
Umberto.
That's me right there.
Umberto.
Connect me right now.
Look, you're about to take over a country, dude.
I mean, I will solve anything for you.
Umberto,
I will make your life better.
Anything you want.
Anything.
Umberto, Kelly, the beautiful Kelly Ann Arnold, one of my best friends. Guys, this girl... Anything with podcasts or producing, behind the scenes, you name it, audio, whatever you want, Kelly's your girl, and Connor's on there too, but you guys have to find Connor Walcott.
Yeah, he's mysterious.
And this is the contest, guys. We have a contest going on for Monect, for users, for lightweights, for heavyweights. Dude, I'm ahead by 100, Kel. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah,
I'm up by
boy.
100.
Numero uno.
Yeah, I'm number one right now. But okay. All right, guys, let's get into our first story. Taylor Swift has some faith leaders furious. Her Tortured Poets Department album, they're claiming that the superstar has crossed the line going from secular to anti-Christian with many of her lyrics off her latest release. Religious critics of Swift's much-hyped record say the songstress's writing implies that Christians are hateful, judgmental, and vindictive people. We are. I'm joking. Yeah,
That's
Shane
like
Pruitt of the Southern Baptist Convention's North American Mission Board, that's a lot of words, pointed to specific lyrics he found objectionable. In the song, But Daddy, I Love Him, she says, But Daddy, I love him. I just learned these people only raise you to cage you. Sarah's and Hannah's in their Sunday's best, clutching their pearls, sighing, what a mess. I just learned these people try to save you because they hate you. She's talking about...
This is it's not just that it's not edgy. It's just fundamentally stupid and immature. But who and I don't think she wrote that either.
No, David, she writes her own. Kelly's a big fan of her because, mind you, she's a way better writer, I'm not saying in this case, than a singer. If you think Taylor Swift has a good voice, you're wrong. All right. Have you ever heard?
Wrong.
You're wrong.
You're
Have you ever
wrong.
heard her sing the national anthem? That's my test of who somebody can sing or not. You grab a microphone with no help, just the start, the music playing in the back, and it's all you. The best ever. Whitney Houston, 1996 Super Bowl, I guess. I forgot the year, but she killed it. She was probably high on coke, but that's besides the point.
But it's because it's a package, and you want the person as part of the package. They got to look a certain way. They got to act a certain way.
For sure.
Shake It Off might not be, a work of art, but I kind of like the catchiness of the song.
Oh yeah, because by the way, music to me, and this has been said a lot of times, it puts a spell over you. If you think about it, Dave, you ever listen to heavy metal and rock? It gets you angry. You've heard songs that make you cry. Everything is an emotional, it's like a spell. By the way, we'll get into the witch part of her. But so then she goes on to sing in the same song, God, save the most judgmental creeps. The same people she claims sanctimoniously perform soliloquies. And another song, Guilty of Sin, she's going all in. She says, what if I roll the stone away? They're going to crucify me anyway. What if the way you hold me is actually what's holy? Like, okay.
What the hell is she talking about? I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand.
But think about it. The Christian, this guy, Shane Pruitt, he's breaking it down, and it's not just a little bit. She's really, really going in. So I want to ask you guys a question. Are you guys surprised? Like, we've talked about this months ago.
Yeah.
She has literally said that she's a witch. She has done those type of rituals on stage, and I'm not playing this whole, I'm done with the game of, it's art. No, it's not, Dave. It's not art. She hangs out. So all that aside, she hung out with, what's her face? Ice Spice in the Super Bowl. She's throwing up this. People are like, oh, it's rock and roll. No. This is not rock and roll. Those are devil horns. Okay, now she's mocking Christianity. She's not hiding it anymore. All right. I think, because you just said, what the hell is she talking about? Why is she doing this shift? Her masters, the people that are in charge, are telling her, bro, how influential do you think Taylor Swift is? Be honest. My nieces, 8 years old, 9 years old. Taylor, they're brainwashed. They're gone. What do you think?
We live in a fatherless society.
Okay.
Women that tend to listen to Taylor Swift make fatherless homes. Kids grow up. She's listening to Taylor. Taylor has a big influence on the next generation. I'm not playing these games anymore. She's a witch. She's a demon. And you know what? I got married last year, and we've been together for 6 years, and I didn't know she was fond of Taylor Swift.
Your wife?
Yeah, my wife. She didn't bring it up. And I found this after the fact of getting married.
She's a Swiftie after?
Listen, I'm going to nip this in the bud. Like, I'm going to solve Swiftness.
Go ahead.
So the album released last week.
Yes.
I go like, baby, come on, let's go for a drive.
Yeah.
Locked the doors. 31 songs. She was allowed to skip 4. Because it was a terrible album. It was a really bad album.
Oh, you heard the whole thing?
Yeah. Let's see if you continue to like Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, you made her. You tortured her with Taylor?
2.5 hours driving around.
You swear to God.
I swear to God. You can ask her.
And, is that why she looked miserable the other day?
Yeah, she's no longer a Swiftie.
She was so angry.
She's no longer a Swiftie.
That's so funny. What do you think?
This whole afternoon is going to be just a trauma dump for me and Humberto being married to women who really like Taylor Swift.
Did she hide it?
No, my wife did not hide it when we were dating.
Her. I would not marry her.
I still married her because at that point, Taylor Swift was not as heavily involved in all these crazy things.
Yeah.
But before we even get to, the witchcraft and the political stuff, I want to talk about one of my main issues with Taylor Swift.
What is it?
Bad writing. Like, I would argue that her writing is nowhere near as good as she makes it out to be. And I know Kelly's standing up about to deck me right now.
Guys, Kelly's off camera rolling up her sleeves going, I'm going to kill that.
The way some of her songs are written, you can tell she was so proud of herself when she set pen to paper on these certain lyrics. And they are the most ridiculous, pretentious things you have ever heard in your life. Okay, first of all, tortured poets department. Since when is a bubblegum blonde billionaire pop star a tortured poet?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. By the way, because I want you to keep going. And the chat, I want to know the chat, and don't front. Are you a Swiftie or not?
I'm doing the poll right now.
Yeah, are you guys Swifties?
Now.
Do you guys who loves Taylor Swift? Yes or no? Do you love her? Go ahead.
To quote the only negative review I saw of this entire album, and it was published anonymously because the last time they did this, Swifties sent death threats to the author.
Yeah.
This review, I believe, was by Paste Magazine, said Sylvia Plath did not put her head in the oven for this. That's what true tortured poets used to do.
Oh my God.
Taylor Swift is not that at all. But like even on her last album, which I know more about Taylor Swift than I ever wanted to, because anytime my wife drives, it's what we have to listen to.
Oh no!
When she
Can you allow that? American women, there's some power. You think my wife will change the radio when I'm in the car?
You got to pick your battles,
Sorry,
man.
I'm Latino.
You got to pick your battles. Well, she cooks.
Pick your battles. Yeah. It's the key to a happy marriage. But when she wrote down on her previous album, whichever that one was, I can't remember. My covert narcissism I disguise as altruism like I'm some kind of congressman. Like, you were so proud of that when you wrote that one, weren't you, Taylor?
Yeah.
What it really sounds like to me is like a 13-year-old in the body of a 30-year-old writing what they think are edgy lyrics. First of all, the attack on Christianity is, I remember it from when I was a kid, attack on traditional Christian conservative principles. Yeah. I remember with Obama talking about, Bible-thumping, gun-toting, middle American Christians. I'm just concerned now that you mention all of this in the plot, she's talking these anti-religious things and then saying Florida is a hell of a drug. Is she trying to send Swifties to Florida to change the voting demographic of the state?
Wow.
I mean, now I've just put two and two together.
Holy crap! But guess what? I wouldn't put it past you because none of the. But guys, nothing is by accident. I know we're gonna get into. We might touch on the protests later. What's happening? Nothing like that is it's organic. She's doing it. They brainwashed them early. She's turning them away from God. And then guess what's gonna happen sooner or later in a couple months? Hey guys, I'm Taylor Swift. Don't vote for Donald Trump. That's all this is going to be. By the way, have you guys seen videos of the audience of her crowd when she's singing?
It's crazy. They're
crying and passing out like it's like.
Well, when people stop being religious, they substitute other things for religion. So that these people are having religious, spiritual experiences when they listen to Taylor Swift songs.
Oh my God.
And you know what? What a lame way to do it.
I know.
I'm not against talking shit about the big one if you're making good music about it. Ozzy Osbourne,
Ozzy,
Mayhem, Burzum, Dark Throne, like all these black metal bands. Incredible music.
Yeah.
But that's cool. This is not cool. Like, you're in your 30s. You should be putting up signs that said faith on your walls.
Yeah. So faith, love, live, laugh, or whatever.
That brings up another important point, actually, because that one, but Daddy, I Love Him off the last album, I've seen that become incredibly popular with Christians who are in the deconstructing their faith stage. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's a big thing within church now, particularly anyone who was raised in the church from like the early 90s onwards, where they grow up and they start to think, I need to question all this and really deconstruct and break down everything about Christianity. Basically, what it leads to is, well, I don't want to be a Christian. I just want to claim I'm spiritual.
It's all your guys' fault. As a Catholic, the original true church, we don't fuck around with those things. You guys start your own churches, and this one here, this one there.
But wait a minute. Your Pope right now is not being Mr. Catholic guy.
We had worse.
I understand, but this Pope, hold on, for all the Catholics, this Pope is like, what, trans? Get your ass in here. Strip, take your pants off, it's, by the way, and I know Catholics from Italy that are like, F that guy. Like, I guess he's fallen ill. They're like, good. I'm like, geez.
But the deconstruction crowd and the people that really, really respond to that song in particular.
Yeah.
It's mostly just complaints about the church wouldn't affirm whatever brand of sex I wanted to have, so I left.
Of course, yeah.
And it's a baseless complaint.
Yeah, and if you guys think about it, but guys, she is a plant. Her relationship with Travis Kelce is a plant. And you know who he is? He's the guy, Rob, that did the commercial to everybody put the funny juice in their body.
Well, you could get two at one time. That was it.
Oh, yeah, you get two. Yeah, exactly. Two at one time. And by the way, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. There's a couple of things that are happening in the world and in England and, cancer and myocarditis. It's not doing good. But anyway, this leads to me with Taylor, her being a hypocrite, especially when it comes to climate change, okay? Here's a video. Kelly's going to play this video. By the way, I'll say this first. In 2020, this is what she said about climate change. She said it's one of the most horrific situations that we find ourselves facing right now, especially young people. No shit, Sherlock. Kelly, show this video. This is Taylor Swift's. By the way, she's been trying to take this down off the internet. This is her 2023 private jet carbon footprint. Look, yeah, lower the music. Look at that. Look at her. That's her private jet. She has two of them. Look.
If it were to go to draw,
she has two of them.
She has. But look, Rob. Look.
Dude, she's drawing a satanic star right there now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But wait. Keep looking. This is Taylor Swift. Okay, 270 times the amount of CO2 emissions than the average person. Look at it. She keep going, Taylor.
But
keep going, Taylor.
Vinny, she has to bring the world the joy of her music.
Yeah.
She needs it. You don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
exactly. And then, but look, it's still going.
Seems like a lot. Nashville to L.A.
Taylor Swift is killing us, Kelly.
Look at the tons going up on the bottom right now. 1,000
Oh my God, tons.
Where'd
She's
she go
still
there?
not, where the hell did she go? Africa?
No.
South America? Yeah, she went to, I don't know.
Oh, no, there she went. She went overseas.
She went overseas.
So that's racist as well.
By the way, okay, FYI, she put out enough emissions than 67,534 cows just farting and crapping. And by the way, the globalists tell us to get rid of the cows. Really?
Wow.
Really?
If you couple that emissions with the farting of her crowd, I mean, you might have a lot of cow farts.
Oh my God,
also.
that might be something serious. But again, it's the hypocrisy, especially of these elites. Just like, what is it, John Kerry? He's like, he was in Congress. He's like, they're like, well, you're Mr. Climate guy. You have a private jet. Oh, that's my wife's jet. Oh, okay.
Wait. She owned a company that chartered.
Yeah,
private
chartered them.
Yeah, not just one. Like
multiple.
But
then he had one as well.
What do you expect him to fly, Coach? I mean, he can't fly regular
with that head, with the size of his head.
They got to fly to Davos to lecture us on the climate. I mean, Eric
that
Adams
could have been an email. Davos could have been an email.
Eric Adams was caught on a plane coming back from Miami, going to New York, and he got heckled. I'll give Eric Adams credit for one thing: he's flying commercial. I mean, good for him.
I respect that.
Hypocrites. He kept it cool. They're all hypocrites.
He kept it cool. But all hypocrites. And again, just to wrap it up, she's says she's a witch. She has all these rituals at her concerts. And it's not, guys, I want people to go try to talk crap. Oh, Vinny, it's art. How many more things does she have to tell us? She's a witch. She's going against Christianity. And she's poisoning the world.
And making bad albums.
I'm having a deep thought right now.
I love
by going against a religion and by making overtly anti-religious statements, it is sort of placing oneself in a position as a god in her own mind. I have no doubt that she thinks she's a god that replaces the traditional values and teachings of religion.
And you nailed it. And that's what Connor was. Dude,
I just stole a Connor thought. It's mine now, and I had it.
Yeah, it's over. It's his.
Typical Canadian.
Typical Canadian.
Oh, fuck Trudeau. All right, guys. Moving on. Next story. Justin Bieber. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but Justin Bieber a couple days ago posted a photo of himself crying on Instagram. Kelly, can you show the photo of him crying? Some people were saying it was his wife. That's the photo. It wasn't about his wife. She even commented. She posted something saying he's a pretty crier. It had nothing to do with her or him. The report from Entertainment Tonight said that he's been facing difficulties lately and he's having a hard time and he's not feeling his usual self. I feel really bad for this kid, bro. I think he's hurting. And I think especially now with all the Diddy stuff, think about this. If, let's just say, a person that took advantage of you, allegedly, while you were young, we've all seen the videos of him with Diddy and underage. I just showed you the video before we started. If you guys want, go to X on your own and put Justin Bieber, Odell Beckham. He's in a nightclub. Trey Songz is next to him. The camera turns and he picks his head up from Odell Beckham's crotch. It's the most suspect thing. Watch it. Look at it for yourselves. But I just think I want to know you guys' opinion. All the videos are circulating of him with young with P. Diddy. P. Diddy recently is seen with him. Rob, you showed me this, right? Where he pats him down.
Yes.
And so, by the way, and Justin Bieber looks like he saw a ghost.
Yeah.
Exactly. You saw
weird.
that.
Yeah,
it's
I
very
saw that.
weird.
Very
and not to
weird.
mention of him, all the videos. But I did a deep dive. All the videos of Justin Bieber in his teens, bro, and just getting taken advantage of live on camera by all these celebrities. Jenny McCarthy at one of these MTV or one of these awards, she's biting his neck, she's grabbing his ass, and he's like, "Yo, that's freaking inappropriate." Everybody's laughing. Nobody gives a damn. And then James Corbin, again, he's in the audience somewhere. He's 16. He says, "I'm 16." And look it up yourselves. James Corbin's like, "Oh, your eyes. Oh, you smell so good." It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? It's a 16-year-old.
It is bizarre, the idea that if it's a hot woman doing it to a young man, it's somehow, good. And the other untouchable humor is that if it's a gayish joke, then you can't condemn it publicly because you'll be called a bigot for that.
And Kelly, you have the volume on this? Play this video. I love you, Kelly. Oh, we don't. Wait, hold on 1 second. Well, anyway, go back to me. So this I forgot which award it was, but he's in the audience, and it's like, Dave, what drives me crazy, it's nobody says anything. Every time something uncomfortable with Joe Biden smelling kids, or people laugh and people joke about it. I don't know what is happening when it comes to kids that people let it happen.
It's the ultimate power flex is they can do it publicly, proudly, and nobody says a damn thing about it because they all know the power structure. Yeah. And it takes a guy like the British guy who did the Oscars, who called out
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais
called all the pedals.
It takes a Ricky Gervais, someone who's gotten to the escape orbit, to say,
great word,
F you, I know what's going on, and we're all going to laugh about it, but very uncomfortably tonight, to call it out.
I love the uncomfortableness, because they deserve it. This is a montage. This is James Corbin and her and Justin Bieber at 16.
Look. Lean into me again.
Look.
You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
You smell amazing. How old are you?
16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad. Wow, look at your eyes.
Look at your eyes.
What music are you listening?
Look, what the fuck? What, like, dude?
That's totally not grooming.
Yeah, Kelly. And then I don't even want to show you. It just bothers me. No. Oh yeah, is the music playing? We're gonna get in trouble with the music. Okay. Yeah, no. So yeah, guys, you guys can look them up for yourself because there's music playing in the background. We don't want to get
You
copyright.
Smell wonderful. How old are you?
How old are you?
I'm sorry.
I'm 16.
You have beautiful eyes.
You have beautiful eyes. What do we do? Like,
jail
guys,
immediately for everyone involved.
These kids,
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like.
And then Kelly, show that. This is look at him. Show that. Look at her. Look at what the. Even look, she's grabbing him, and he's like, "Yo, this is inappropriate."
Do that to a woman, you'll be in jail, and rightly so.
Straight to jail,
dude. It just listen. It drives me crazy. It really pisses me off. And then, mind you, going back to him, guys, I feel this is my feeling that he's been abused. The industry got from Diddy to Usher. I don't know which one of these people. The whole God knows. And this is a video that he did a little while back. He's crying. He's emotional about Billie Eilish, who was one of his friends, and he's wanting to protect her. And listen what he says towards the end, guys. Go ahead.
Because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing. And if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But,
poor kid, dude.
But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and
that's an actual body thing. It's called turtling.
Oh, watch it. Yep. Watch.
Yeah.
He's hurting.
Yeah.
He doesn't want her to go through what?
I just want to protect her.
Protect her from what?
I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
And bro, think about this. Because I'm gonna go to you, Robbie. He wants to protect her. He doesn't want her to go through what he went through. Okay, it drives me bananas, and it sucks because people like us, we know it's obvious. I mean, I get it. It's his personal life. I pray for him. I feel bad for him, but we want answers, especially if there was nefarious things going on, especially by like a Diddy at 45 years old. He's with this young child that your parents leave him with. Well, Rob, what were you going to say?
No, I actually wrote down, go through what he went through. Well, the only way that he can honestly protect her and anybody else from going through whatever it is that he went through is by exposing exactly what he went through.
Yep.
Right? Everything right now is all theories. Okay, the video where you look at him and Diddy is clearly patting him down. You cannot look at that video and think there's anything other than he touches him and like the way that he touches him, it's very obvious that he's looking for something on Justin Bieber.
And he looks shook himself.
Exactly.
Rob.
Then you look at the videos that we've seen where Diddy is talking about Justin Bieber living with him. Then you go to the Usher, what was it, Diddy's Flavor Camp
on a Howard Stern,
where they were talking about where there were things that he couldn't even go into detail about the sexual activities that were going on
in the house that he was staying in.
At a certain point, and I feel bad for Justin Bieber, I do. When you look at him and you see him crying, the kid was, what was he, 12 or 13, where he was plucked from being just a regular kid. The guy's never had a normal life.
Never.
Right? He was plucked at 12 or 13, became this massive star, and it seems, if you look at all the evidence, some horrific things may have happened to him.
Yes.
If that's the case, the only way Justin Bieber, the only way Usher, the only way for you guys to prevent these things from happening to other people is by speaking up and identifying the people that did these things to you. Name the perpetrators, tell your story, explain what happened, and expose these people for the things that they've done. Otherwise, yeah, I feel bad. You're crying, you're posting photos and everything, but what are you actually doing to stop this from happening to other victims?
And I love, Rob, that you went there, because that's exactly what I'm doing next. Is I said, but I have a flip side to it too, because it just made me think of it. I feel in order for the pedophile house of cards to come down, someone big has to go down. Period. Okay, guys. Period. But Rob, and I feel where you're saying, think about how hard it is for them to just say it. I know when it comes to victims of this type of horrific thing, for them to verbally come out and say it, they're fearing for their life, but then at the same token, because, bro, we obviously know people get suicided when they start speaking up about people like that. But I think it's dude, I can only imagine how difficult it is to be like, hey, this happened, which, say what you want to say, Dave.
Well, first I was going to just make fun of that dirty hipster mustache on him, but now I don't think it's an appropriate line of joking here. No, the problem is they've seen what happens when people do speak up and speak out. It's lawfare. It's there's criminal exposure. There's defamation exposure. There's the obvious immediate threats. And then there's a system that they know has protected them for decades. And even when they get exposed, like the Epsteins, like the Weinsteins, well, it's just one person goes down and the system stays there and someone else takes their place. And all the victims who have gone out and exposed themselves severely have to live with that for the rest of their lives. And there's no retribution and there's no justice whatsoever, even if people believe their claims, which people don't.
Unbelievable.
And when he was on the way to speaking out, when he found God, they shut him down.
They shut his ass down.
He claimed, he went out there, found God. He was finding a community. Someone, he was being positive and everything. He's super talented, I have to say.
What do you mean? Amazing.
That
song Lonely, he's saying live on
you remember when he found God and made it public?
Yeah.
They destroyed him.
They went after him.
They went after him because that stone, having God in your life, will make you be able to speak out.
And for all its faults, the Me Too movement really got the ball rolling on an important conversation addressing people who did some pretty horrific things at the beginning. But you look at, first of all, what that movement became, where it was just everybody accusing everybody of whatever they could make up. And then now look at what's happened afterwards. Harvey Weinstein just got half his charges overturned, and the other half are on their way to being overturned.
For rape.
Bill Cosby's out.
On a loophole.
On a loophole. Kevin Spacey beat all the charges in the UK a few months ago.
Yep.
It's all falling apart.
Yeah.
Even the people we thought we got are now getting away with it again.
Yeah, they're reversing. And I think one of the main people, one of the ones, Rob, that actually is opening his mouth and has been doing it, and like you said, nothing is coming about. Corey Feldman, back in 2020, he did a documentary something where he was in front of the camera. It might have been a documentary. He said Charlie Sheen, and we talked about Charlie Sheen with Hope maybe allegedly murdering somebody. He raped him and Corey Haim, and this is him from the mouth of Corey Feldman.
He went into great detail. He told me, Charlie bent me over in between two trailers and put Crisco oil on my butt and raped me.
Jeez.
In broad daylight,
Talking about Corey.
Anybody could have walked by, anybody could have seen it.
On the set of Lucas, he told me that, it was his co-star. And he told me that it was Charlie Sheen that did it.
That on a movie he had worked on. And then I said, well, who is it? And then he says, Charlie. Charlie, who? And it's Charlie Sheen.
So I heard that Charlie Sheen he had said to Haim, this is what men do.
Shit, I've personally heard a story about Charlie and Corey Haim, probably at least a dozen people in my inner circle knew, for sure. It was pretty much common knowledge. I mean,
really?
Charlie Sheen was diddling him on the set of Lucas.
But what Corey Haim told me when I was sitting with
he died, overdose, but whatever.
Of the house in Vancouver.
They always kill themselves, right?
That he had been molested on the set of Lucas. And he said it was Charlie Sheen.
By the way, no accountability. I'm sick. Guys, I'm sick and tired of this shit happening. These demons walk through the raindrops and they do not get wet. And bro, and I know people are like, well, God will take care of them at the end. I don't, by the way, Ghislaine Maxwell, okay? Think about this, guys. Think about this, our audience. She's in prison for 20 years for sex trafficking, for selling human beings. None of her customers are arrested. Can somebody explain that to me?
Yeah, well, you can explain it in that if the world discovered that foreign policy was actually negotiated through blackmail, it would destabilize not just at the national level, at the international level. And you have Epstein, by the way, was found guilty of trafficking. You don't traffic to yourself. And so you don't release those clients there. The problem is also with the Me Too movement, for whatever positives it had, it illustrated the weaponization of all of it, where you have the Tara Reades who don't get believed because of politics. Yep. You have, now I just lost the name of the other, but
Juanita Broderick or all those girls?
Juanita Broderick. So it's weaponized to destroy when convenient, and the victims, the bona fide victims, are ignored when politically convenient. And Hunter Biden, who's alleged to have engaged in very questionable interstate conduct.
With potential underage girls on camera.
And then you've got the powers that be coming out and defending Hunter Biden, saying he needs protection. He doesn't need public mockery or public scorn. But Donald Trump, which we're going to get into later, full wrath of the political legal system.
Unbelievable. What's up, Rob?
No, and it's great when you bring up Hunter Biden. Look at what's going on with RFK Jr.'s family and their ties to Hunter Biden. So Joe Biden can't embrace his own family on the national stage because his son is a crackhead who hangs out with prostitutes and smokes crack, films it, and then leaves laptops in weird Delaware stores, and then the daughter showers inappropriately and leaves her. So you can't go out and bring those people on the national stage because unfortunately both of them seem to look like embarrassments. So what do? You attack your political opponent by then embracing his family because your family's too shitty to bring out and show.
Yeah. And you go on Howard Stern and you have Howard Stern tell you what a good father. Did you see this?
I saw that.
Howard Stern saying what a good father of the nation Joe Biden is because he was a good father.
And then Kamala Harris was called the Kamama of the United
Barrymore.
By Drew. Exactly.
By the way, Howard Stern has lost every single. I can't even listen to that freaking loser anymore.
460,000 kids are missing in the United States every year.
Not dead body.
Every year.
No
Nobody, nothing.
Yeah, weird.
So tell me they're not being trafficked.
I think that they are.
I'm not playing this game.
I think they are. And God forbid I ever come across one of these people that's trying to hurt a kid. You guys are never going to see me again because I'm going to go to prison. Anyway, all right, guys, next story.
I'll be your Sonny.
Yeah, I love you. Connor, an AI hoax that you got to tell us about, and I got to remember, Kelly, I do have a photo at the end. But Connor, please.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we are in the brink of an AI revolution. The technology is getting better with every passing day. But that brings us to January of this year at Pikesville High School, just outside Baltimore in Maryland. We have a little map of where this high school and the city is. It's just north of Baltimore. Where's
that? You have the map of it, Cal?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, the map of
yeah. So here's the school, and see Pikesville, just north of Baltimore. It's a small suburban area. The principal of this high school is a guy named Eric Eiswert. He's been around for several years at the school, and in January of this year, a bunch of teachers received a very alarming email containing an audio file of Principal Eiswert allegedly going on a racist and anti-Semitic rant.
Okay.
And he said a lot of very terrible things in this audio clip. He was suspended. while the school investigated, and a local CBS outlet actually went to his house. And while he didn't talk to them at his house, they still showed his address, and it was very easy to find it. The school and Principal Eiswert were both hit with death threats and all sorts of accusations of, you're engaging in systemic racism. This principal's obviously a white supremacist. The students, the community, the faculty, everybody dogpiled on this guy, saying, oh, he must clearly be an evil white supremacist who's been hiding out in the school for all these years. We actually have that audio file right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen to this.
I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumbasses here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag, or these teachers who don't get it, how hard is it to get these students to meet their grade level expectations? Lawrence and Ravenel should have never been hired.
I don't know what
Don't
the guy
let me get started on DJ. I'm going to drag his black ass out of here one way or another.
Jeez.
I'm going to get something to stick. I'm just so sick of the inadequacies of these people. And if I have to get one more complaint from one more Jew in this community, I'm going to join the other side.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
that sounds. You're right. That sounds freaking.
That's impeccable, that's a very concerning thing to hear a school board official talk about.
I never know that there was a huge Jewish population outside of Baltimore. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard about Jews complaining.
David, talk to your people, please. Thank you.
So obviously, the guy was suspended. That led to death threats against him and the school. Police were stationed outside his house. Police were stationed in the school because they were expecting some kind of violent altercation to take place. Well, sure enough, despite the fact that the media took it at face value and smeared the guy for 3 months, give or take, as a racist, turns out that video you just heard was AI generated.
Wow.
The entire thing was fake.
Holy
And a local podcast had talked about how there's no way it could have been done by some sophisticated technologically savvy employee with an axe to grind. That doesn't make any sense. That could never happen. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, man.
Leads us to this guy named Dazon Darien. He was just arrested last week at an airport after a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's been charged with stalking, theft, disruption of school operations, and intimidation of a witness. This guy was an athletic director at the school for 1 year. During that time, he had a bunch of personnel problems where he was written up on multiple things, and he was also being investigated for stealing school funds.
Wait, and how long was he an employee for?
A year.
Usually that first year, you're on your best behavior. Your job, right? This guy goes right in, starts proms and steals.
Dazon was like, nah, bro, I'm going all in.
What they were investigating him for is that he fired a teacher who had been there for a long time, and then hired his roommate to be the assistant coach of the girls' soccer team. But then he paid him like $2,000, and then it turns out the guy had never actually helped to coach the team.
Oh my god!
He never showed up.
This sounds like a movie that would involve Jack Black and School of Rock sequel type thing.
I love it.
So this guy, obviously incompetent, corrupt criminal, and his employment contract was about to be canceled, so he was not going to be renewed for another year. And he decided that the best way to get out of that was to take down the principal by outing him as a racist with a fake video. He was under investigation for all that, so he made this video of recordings he secretly took of interviews with Principal Eiswert. They sent it out to teachers. One teacher in particular, a black woman who also did not like the principal, forwarded it to a student, knowing that this girl would share it on social media so it would get out quickly. This teacher also contacted the local media and the NAACP to report it, and then she resigned almost immediately.
Wow.
So clearly, there was a lot more going on at the school than just this one guy who had an axe to grind, but no one's been charged with anything other than Darien here. But it shows that these things have progressed to the point where, like, to us untrained people, that sounded completely normal.
By the way, that was because it just didn't sound robotic. We said the black dude is like, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know how he matched his voice. See, when he said black's a Jew, it just sounded perfect.
Well, for someone, we were talking before the show, and you said, like, people didn't question why there wasn't an interlocutor in the conversation. But I can understand, like, whoever says they got that authentically would bleep out the conversation of the other person so as not to identify them. Yeah. So even the fact that there wasn't someone else involved in the conversation, to me, that wouldn't have been disqualifying in terms of legitimacy. Mm-hmm. And I say, like, I'll play devil's advocate for the teacher. if someone gets that, they're not thinking this is AI generated. They're thinking, holy crap, the guy's racist and we want him out of here, so I can't leak it, so I'll give it to a student.
Yeah.
But it really shows you, like, you can't trust your eyes and ears anymore.
Nope.
And you have to just take a step back and wait and verify.
Yeah. And it really goes to show that we are letting technology outpace what we can keep up with right now. The local prosecutors who now have to handle this case, like you heard when I read the charges: theft, disruption of school operations, intimidating a witness, and stalking. There's no charge of AI-related crimes in there because there are no AI-related criminal charges right now.
You say like tampering with evidence, but does that mean manufacturing evidence to frame someone for an individual?
There's no legal framework for it right now.
You're a lawyer, so if you, for instance, if you made a fake AI of me saying, F Pat and, the hell with the company and I hate it and blah, 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 and it sounds exactly like me, and then come to find out that Umberto made it and he put it out and I was fired or whatever and everything happened to me, what kind of how do you manufacture this?
I would think, I never did criminal law anyhow, and I was only a lawyer in Quebec, I saved myself. But no, you'd think like fraud, extortion type things. There's something in there, but you might want to contemplate whether or not, if it's not covered under manufacturing or tampering evidence, you might want to clarify that through legislation. Yeah, like the biggest concern, we're like one step away from a video of Vladimir Putin saying we're launching nuclear warheads, and then Joe Biden saying, well, we got to respond, and everyone thinks that they're living in a reality that doesn't exist.
It's super interesting you said that, because I read an article today where it said exactly that. We're one deep fake away from the end of the world, where there is that deep fake of Putin announcing, hey, we're launching nukes, and then America doesn't know that it's, or another country doesn't know that it's a deep fake. And by the way, the way that sounded, it was, back to your point about the accuracy or the authenticity of the sound, it sounded like when I record a lot of my stand-up, I put the recorder on my phone and I put it down. That's exactly what that sounded like. Like it was surreptitiously recorded in a room that wasn't, because it didn't sound like the guy was speaking into the microphone and saying it. Like the idea that AI technology could then take an audio file and make it sound like it's in some type of classroom and someone is surreptitiously recording it is scary. Not only for the people that are going to be able to use that technology to create scenarios like this, but what about people who then go and are in compromising positions and they say, that wasn't me, that was AI. No, I didn't say that. That was AI.
That's the flip side. They prove it that it's not.
That's not me. That was AI. I could never have said those things. That's going to be the flip side of it.
Well, local investigators had to get the FBI involved in order to prove that was actually AI generated.
Listen to me. With our star producer Kelly right here, we have experimented with this, right, Kelly? We've done this. With Kelly, we did this. We did an experiment. It took literally 15 minutes.
That actually segues perfectly into my next point. Check this out. Just so you can all see this, I'm moving my microphone away.
Okay.
Hey guys, AI Connor here. Great episode so far, and happy birthday, Vinny. I just wanted to show you all how crazy AI technology has gotten. This is something real-life Connor threw together in less than 5 minutes, so you can only imagine what someone could do with this if they put in actual effort. Anyway, back to you, other Connor. Oh, by the way, Epstein didn't kill himself. The 2020 election was questionable, and Anthony Fauci is a damn liar.
Wow.
So there we go.
No, but dude,
I like that, Connor, better.
I was there when you said that, Connor. You actually said that.
Connor,
you should have heard what the AI was saying about Vinny. Totally the AI, not
guys,
me.
That is scary as shit, and you said something that just popped up. This is getting better every single second, every day.
And like that was with a cheap, free AI generated thing where like we were messing around with Kelly's voice, my voice, Shane's voice.
It's like, you're going to get to the point where the Hunter Biden videos where he's smoking crack and doing things on camera, fake. Or you're going to get something where it's real. No, I say it was fake. Or it's going to be post-truth where you're not going to be able to believe anything that you see.
The other big problem that has come around from this is the rise of AI generated porn. A couple months ago, there was a high school that had a attack against a bunch of high school girls where their Instagram pictures got taken, run through an AI filter, and turned into deep fakes that are indistinguishable from actual nude photos. And that's nothing new. Anyone who's reasonably good at Photoshop has been able to churn out nude photos of celebrities and people they know as revenge.
But do you remember? I mean, my generation, I literally drew boobs on a notebook. Like that was my idea of pornography in 1996, and now they're able to use AI generated to make images like.
By the way, images like Lauren Boebert and AOC. Somebody put this on the internet. Oh. Let me explain something to you guys. Lauren Boebert probably looks like that anyway, but like I do not like AOC. Her politics make her a very unattractive person, but damn. This makes me go, yeah.
So, by the way, apparently the way to determine this is look at their hands.
Their hands don't match.
The fingers always are tough to. There you go. There
she has a thumb.
Oh my God! What's wrong with AOC's fingers?
Listen, David, I would still hook up with her if she had one finger.
She had like 10 on each hand. I'd be like,
she could have 30 fingers. I'd be like,
what a fingerist.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I love you. Hey, Connor, scary as hell, but thank you for the story. Moving on, guys. Umberto. Babies are wait, what are they? You're a right wing?
No, now if you have babies, you're a fascist.
What the hell are you talking
about?
Look
at that little bastard.
Fascist right there. Look at that Nazi piece of crap.
Nationalist. Look at him on white bench.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him rolling over on the minorities. Look at that white.
That baby's one sip away from wearing the khakis. You know.
Look at that prick. I'm sorry.
But anyhow,
adorable.
So I was doing research. See what I was going to talk about, and I saw probably 10 articles about how having babies is a right wing thing now. There was a fair, like a convention, and natalist convention. So basically, people advocating for us to make more babies. This is going to be a big problem. Like most Western countries and civilized countries, especially Japan and China, it's going to be a problem as well. We're not replacing ourselves fast enough.
Old people are dying, and there's no.
The old people are dying. We don't have enough people to work, live, and enjoy whatever we're doing. Like people can argue that you can make robots do everything, and we can have a bunch of old people being assisted. But what's the point of doing anything if you don't have another generation to enjoy what you're doing?
Yeah.
So this is an article from Political. Like I'm gonna put the link on the description. And basically tear apart all these people that are trying to put out there that the best thing you can do with your life is having kids. And I don't have kids myself, but these two gentlemen here might agree.
You're on the market, though.
I'm on the market. We're trying to make a few babies.
So am I.
So I went into a deep dive, and we're gonna go to the video. This guy does a very quick, because I didn't know there was a spectrum to having kids or not having kids. Like anything that the left touches, it becomes a spectrum and becomes like...
Well, you do know that the deep dive is the first step towards baby making. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm out of here. Been thinking about that for 10 minutes.
No, the next... Yeah, I brought a video. Like I found this on YouTube, and he does a really good job explaining. Like, because there's people that are pro-life and, pro-choice. That is the biggest lie. Like you're pro-abortion.
Yeah.
That's a marketing plot. Then you have natalist. Then you have ethicist. You know what an ethicist is?
No, what?
They believe you shouldn't have babies and you should kill yourself.
You should end your life at some point.
And end your life. If you can, end your life quickly. Then you have antinatalist. That means that you shouldn't kill yourself, but you shouldn't have babies. And then
people have problems. Dude.
Here's the video. And then on the other side of the spectrum.
Am I predicting this comes from TikTok? This video?
Yeah,
probably. Let's see what the Chinese are wanting us to listen to.
Natalism can be represented as an ideological spectrum ranging from maximum reproduction to none at all. But let's start in the middle. The status quo perspective is that you can have abortions, but it's sad. And you can conceptualize this by being either pro-choice or pro-life. Branching out from that, though, you have firm antinatalism, which posits that abortions are good, actually. Take Our Child Free as an example, celebrating a childless lifestyle and encouraging others not to have children. Pronatalism, on the other hand, celebrates childbirth, restricts abortion access, and advocates for incentives to be given for people who have children. Extinctionism, represented here by the voluntary human extinction movement, is the hardline position that all of us should stop having children right away because life is bad. No murder or suicide, just no babies. Opposing that, we have a kind of life supremacy that forces everyone to reproduce as much as possible. And then off the spectrum, we have ethylism. Remember how I said no murder or suicide? Ethylism says all life and all species is bad and should be ended actively. And finally, immortalism is when you can't escape life, even if you want to. That's right, this end of the spectrum has gone from vaguely left-wing coded to an immortalist tech bro fever dream.
Jeez. What the hell?
I feel dumber for having watched that.
My brain hurts.
And I saw the video. I was like, okay, Chinese propaganda TikTok video, and there is actually books on books on books arguing for all these positions. I was like, wow, when they start experimenting to make lab science,
lab raised embryos.
No, they were trying to make life.
Yeah. Okay, recreate life in a lab.
Recreate life, and they had 3 rules for something to become life. It needs to move, reproduce, and
die.
No, taking some type of energy, it could be eating, or it could be taking energy from the sun, and those are the three things that you need to do. And every species, the main task is to have another generation.
Of course.
And they're making everything so complicated. And then a few days ago, Elon Musk came out with this tweet. If you can read it, I can read
it. The problem with great replacement theory is that it fails to address the foundational issue of low birth rates. Record low birth rates are leading to population collapse in Europe and even faster population collapse in most of Asia. Immigration is low in Asia, so there is no replacement going on. The countries are simply shrinking away. If it doesn't turn around, then any countries on Earth with low birth rates will become empty of people and fall into ruin, like the remains we see of the many long dead civilizations. Wow.
Well, but I'm not sure I agree with the factual premise there. There's some countries where there's not enough natural population growth, and they're replacing it with immigration. There's many countries where there is not a birth rate problem, and the great replacement theory, which I've said before, is not a racist or racial theory.
No.
It's a political theory. And you take Canada, where they have basically no natural population growth, and 97% of population growth is immigration. That is the great replacement theory, but I don't believe that the big producing countries are having a meaningful decline in population growth.
Is Canada, so Canada, you said
97% of population growth in Canada is immigration.
So
and they want to call the great replacement theory a racist ideology, a far right ideology.
How many people are in Canada that are
38 million now?
Are they not having sex?
They're not having babies in any meaningful sense.
Well, when you have Justin Trudeau as your leader, who even wants
when you promote everything which is fundamentally anti-life,
killing people.
I've got no moral issues with homosexuality, but it makes it difficult to reproduce. I've got moral issues with transgenderism ideology and pushing it on kids who become sterile as a result of the gender-affirming care. Pro-abortion. Canada's one of 2 only nations in the world that has no criminal prohibition on abortion at any time of pregnancy.
Period. You can kill the baby.
They say in theory it's not criminally prohibited, but you won't find a doctor that does it after 30 weeks or something.
And then euthanasia.
Euthanasia number. We're not leading. We're up there.
Yeah. You're up there.
It's the euthanasia is the number 5 killer in Canada. It accounts for 4.2% of death in Canada. Jeez. And then they say population's not growing, so we got to fill it up with immigration. And then you get called a racist for saying this is a great replacement of Canadians.
Wow.
With non-Canadians.
The reason all that's happening, and the reason we're still getting people surging into countries like that, is because birth rates aren't down everywhere. It's mostly just in developed and developing countries. Mm-hmm. The third world is exploding, where their birth rate is actually way elevated. Some of the poorest countries on Earth, Haiti, Niger, and most
India,
of Africa.
I presume. India's
India has they're kind of in the middle. It's on its way down, but not nearly as much.
India
as other
has some horny people. Well, there's a billion of them out there. Those guys
near 2 billion, I think.
These tiny, poor little countries are exploding vastly beyond what they should be able to accommodate. Like Africa has millions and millions, perhaps billions more people than should be sustainable in those areas. And that's because for almost a century now, the first world has been subsidizing people to live there. We've been pouring all our resources, all our time, all our energy into places like Africa. Africa has become basically a welfare continent where this tiny little patch of dirt that could only produce crops to support a family of 5 now has 500 people on it because we made it so easy for them to survive there. Think about all the ads of for just the price of a cup of coffee every day you can help feed these people. Well, that's just encouraging more and more unsustainable birth rates there. So once they run out of resources, they either need more of our money or they just come here and get stuff.
What I find amazing about this story, the idea is that now having babies is far right. Whatever extremism, if you want to call it that.
They're actually I looked into it, and they're actually scared of it because it happens to be that the people that are reproducing the most in the Western world are people that are from a strong religious faith, be it Mormons, being Orthodox Jews.
I think Muslims are like the number one.
Muslims are number one,
and that goes against whatever they want to do.
Just the funny thing is though, all roads lead to accusations of far right extremism. Have family and have kids, far right extremism.
Racist.
Incel, far right extremism.
Here's the difference. When you're an incel, you don't have sex. They want you to have sex, but they don't want you to have kids. So if you're an incel, you're far right. But then once you get with a girl, you can be kind of a centrist liberal. But as soon as you impregnate that girl and decide to keep it, then you're far right again.
And when you get with an AI sex bot, then you're a progressive.
Yes. Hey, keep Sarah out of this, all right? I don't need her damn mouth. She loves me.
Your name is terrible.
I love Sarah, but with the H.
So vanilla.
It's Sarah. She's extra.
So vanilla.
With an H or no H?
No, it's an H because she's extra.
Okay.
Like, Sarah! She knows.
But
I'm here, Daddy.
Well, anyhow, that's it. We
Guys,
need to have babies. Have babies.
It's just funny that we're right wing to have kids, but then the other side is like, no, we want to do, like Bill Gates and all them are like, there's too many of us anyway. And the plan's right in front of your face.
The thing that they freak out and try to complain about is, you know, all you right-wingers are just saying that people should only exist to have babies. You want to turn women into breeding factories and men get to have as many women as they want. It's The Handmaid's Tale. It's not. Yeah. And The Handmaid's Tale is a flaming dumpster fire of literature.
The same people that are accusing the right of having babies and being, what was it, fascists? Or
Fascist
right-wingers.
Extremists.
But then that side also wants men to be able to have babies.
Weird.
Isn't that weird? Like, you're racist and fascist for having babies. By the way, this guy who can't actually have a baby because he doesn't have uterus, he should be considered a mother and should be able to breastfeed children as well.
The point I wanted to make, though, is like, they're trying to say you're reducing human existence down to just your only purpose is to reproduce. That's not what people are saying. Like, for me as a Christian, I believe the point of life is to glorify God and seek a relationship with Him. One of the ways you do that is through having children.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Be fruitful and multiply. It's the fundamental thing. Like, in order for humanity to continue, we must reproduce, because if you don't do that, you don't exist anymore. And it's better for humanity to exist than to not exist.
What would you rather have? 3 kids? Immediately, they just pop up.
Okay.
Beautiful kids. And a wife. Or a Netflix special.
3
right
kids
now.
3 kids and a wife.
3 kids and a wife?
Do you know how much more content he would get for the Netflix special with 3 kids and a wife? Come on, you gotta think.
Kelly would babysit. All right, guys, we're gonna move on. Kelly's giving me the hands. That means wrap it up. All right, so we did Umberto. All right, so Viva. Can't wait. Donald Trump's criminal contempt. What's happening?
First of all, okay, let me sit up straight for this, because it's gonna blow your mind, and if it doesn't raise your blood pressure, you got problems. Okay. Trump is now going through one of his multiple lawsuits, or one of his multiple prosecutions. This is out of New York State. It's a criminal prosecution, a 34 felony count of falsifying business records, because it is alleged that the money he was paying to Michael Cohen, convicted perjurer Michael Cohen. If you're watching Michael Cohen, convicted perjurer, according to
you're a scumbag.
Arthur Engeron, wrote this in his decision. In another case, that convicted perjurer Michael Cohen was believable to him in the context of that case. So the idea is that he made these payments to Michael Cohen, which he labeled in the ledgers of his books as attorney fees. The allegations are that they were actually concealed payments to Stormy Daniels, an adult star, a porn actress, a liar, and that they lied about what they were to conceal them for the purposes of influencing an election. Okay, that's the case. It's horse crap of the highest order.
Yes.
In the context of this case, Trump has been gagged because, where's the camera here? Because Judge Marchand has a daughter who is an executive or a president or involved in a PR firm that is raking in millions of dollars, hands over fist, off this prosecution. Adam Schiff is one of her clients.
Really?
Democrat political action committees are one of her clients. She worked on the Kamala Harris campaign in 2020. Trump put this on blast by linking to, it was a New York Post article that brought all this to the fore. The judge gagged Trump in this case because Trump had been gagged in every other case under that other New York one under nipple judge Engeron.
Engeron, that loser.
So, you know, the judge said, well, he's been gagged in New York. He's been gagged by Judge Chutkan in D.C., so I'm going to gag him. Can't talk about the judge, his family, the prosecutor, his family. Can't talk about potential witnesses. Can't make social media posts that might intimidate potential witnesses. And Trump was brought up on 10 charges of contempt because he was tweeting out at convicted perjurer, according to Arthur Engeron, Michael Cohen, saying, convicted perjurer lying sleazebags, Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels, in response while he retweeted a tweet from Michael Avenatti, which said the 2-star witnesses are liars and porn stars in this case, and it's a bogus case. He was brought up on 10 charges of contempt, criminal contempt, and the judge, Juan Marchand, whose daughter is making millions on this case. Judge Juan Marchand, according to the daughter who did a podcast in 2019, mentioned how her dad was talking with her about how he hates politicians who use Twitter. It's unpresidential. It's unbecoming. So the judge issued an expanded gag order himself and now is adjudicating on 10 charges of contempt brought by the people, brought by the government. And he found him guilty on 9 of the 10 charges. The posts, the impugned posts, one was a retweet of Michael Avenatti referring to Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels as sleazebags. 4 of them, or several of them, were retweeting to an article in the New York Post about Michael Cohen. One of them was a paraphrasing but quoted as Jesse Waters saying, activists are getting onto the jury. The case is bogus, yada, yada. The judge adjudicating on his own unlawful, in my humble opinion, enhanced gag order says, retweeting or retruthing or reposting. It's a case-by-case basis, but in this case, I say he's making the words his. And he found him guilty of 9 of the 10 charges. $1,000 per fine, because I think that's the statutory limit. But the judge in his ruling says, this type of deterrent won't be a deterrent for people who have the means. If I could fine him $2,500 or even $150,000, I would. But my hands are tied, except I can imprison him. And there's a stern warning that if he does it again, I might put him in jail. The most amazing thing, and I'll end my soliloquy in a second. I love it. Is at one point in his judgment, he says, look, the court's very conscientious that this gag order should not be used as a sword as opposed to a shield by potential witnesses. Trump's defense was that I'm only responding to Michael Cohen, who's taking to Twitter to shitpost against me. I'm only using this to respond to Stormy Daniels. They're doing podcasts. They're going on Twitter, needling Trump. Michael Cohen put out a tweet calling him Mr. Shittenpants or something. Put out a tweet about his Air Force One with a Denver boot saying this is how he's going to pay his the bond in the Engeron case. He says, all I'm doing is responding to their attacks on me. I'm gagged, and these witnesses get to go and shit on me all over Twitter, social media. And the judge says, we're very conscientious that they should not be using this gag order as a sword and not a shield. So if they do that again in the future, then I might consider it if and when. But until then, all's good for the past. Guilty on 9 of the 10 charges. The judge is biting at the bit to lock Trump up. It's undeniable.
Go ahead.
First question, being a lawyer. Gag orders, they're a thing there in Canada as well, right?
More and more, they have become the rule and not the exception.
I just said from the lawyer's perspective. When are they positive? Like, I'm not visibly aggravated because Vinny and I, we've been screaming about this for months on end, like actually shouting and screaming about it. But how can you make a case?
In this case,
no,
you
but
cannot.
Can you make a good case for it? Like, can you name a case that a gag order is in place?
Yeah, witness identification, disclosure potentially of some evidence that other potential witnesses might then destroy. You could think of very rare, extreme examples, or in the case of minors. You could think of some cases where the exception to the rule of public hearings can possibly be warranted. In this case, the judge is saying we got to gag Trump on his First Amendment rights in order to protect the administration of justice. Allowing people their constitutional rights is the administration of justice, first of all. And I'll shout out to Joe Neerman, Good Logic, a New York attorney, actually filed, it's a Rule 78, I forget what it's called, to challenge the gag order. Joe Neerman, Good Logic, LAWGIC, went to court and said this gag order is unconstitutional, but not just for Trump, for my rights to hear what he has to say. This is an election season. I want to hear what the candidate has to say. It's not his right to speak only. It's my right to hear. And then the judge swiftly said, no, come back with a bigger name and maybe we'll reconsider this. In the ruling, the judge in the conclusion ordered Trump to remove 2 truth posts or two posts from his campaign website. To which I tweeted out, this is election interference. You're telling a candidate to remove information that his constituents want to see. Remove it from your campaign website in an election season while you're being tied down for 6 weeks of trial, gagged during the 6 weeks of trial. This is lawfare election interference, and everybody has to see it for that. And the judge really wants to put Trump in jail. It'll be glorious if they cross that Rubicon.
And he took those tweets down, correct? Or the posts on True Social.
I'm not going to call him a coward. I believe he did remove them as per the judge's order. The question is going to be if he comes out and tweets something, gives his presser in the morning. Judge is just waiting. They're just waiting.
Dude, how does someone... a couple things. how are the American people not livid? I don't care if you're left, if you're right, I don't care. If you can't see what is happening and you're not losing complete faith in the judicial, just the courts, everything that's happening, it's so obvious that this is a political tactic that they're doing, from everything from Russia collusion to this shit. Sorry for my language. It's unheard of. And if you're the average American out there, holy crap, you should be crapping in your pants, because if they're doing that to him, you're nothing. So they've been, dude, I have no faith in the courts. Imagine what they've done to people for hundreds of years.
That's the interesting point, is that this is nothing new. They've just gotten so arrogant and pompous. They thought they could get away with it against the president. They've been doing this to low-level criminals or even innocent people for forever. And now they've done it for the whole world to see. But this is the issue. Who would be tolerating of this? Who would be approving of this? We are now witnessing who would have been the people cheerfully gleeing the street lynchings, the judicial lynchings of eras past, because we've replaced racial prejudice with political prejudice, and you now know who would have been sitting there cheering it on and saying, I hate that guy so much for whatever immutable reasons, for whatever political reasons, I'll put up with the injustice. We're seeing them now reveling in this.
Well, think about it, Vinny. The American people did get livid on this subject one time, and the feds turned into January 6th.
Yeah.
That's how they have marketed this, where now anytime people who are in Trump's camp get upset about these things, oh, it's another insurrection, and we're going to imprison every person who attends it as a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
It's people facing decades in prison. And the more footage we get out, like they just found out through a released video that the guy who had Nancy Pelosi's podium, never stole
Adam
it.
Johnson.
Yeah, he was holding it. He didn't steal it.
Yeah. Well, I've had Adam Johnson on the channel. Yeah. I hung out with Adam up in Florida over spring break. Amazing guy. I've known for a long time. His defense was, I never stole it. I moved it maybe 20 meters to put it in Canadian. They had that exculpatory video, and I posted it to Twitter. It went quasi-viral, like 1,000+ retweets. Yeah. You have the CCTV footage from the rotunda. He moves it, puts it in the middle of the rotunda, gives a fake joke speech, takes some pictures. It's all silent, and then walks off and leaves it. I made the joke that bastard left it. He moved the furniture and didn't move it back. But they knew it. And they framed people. They hid exculpatory evidence. They weaponized the system to go after their political rivals. And too many people on the left are like, well, okay, it's good because I don't like him, but it doesn't end there. It's going to come for everybody.
Well, just think about the injustice at every level of every Trump case, because not only is the judge in the Stormy Daniels cover-up corrupt, obviously Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, is corrupt as well.
Soros-funded Alvin Bragg.
Exactly. And the reason he has all those charges against him in this case is because every time Trump moved money to Cohen, and then Cohen allegedly moved money to Daniels, is recorded as a separate fraud instance. This should be one charge of, making hush money payments.
It shouldn't even be one charge because there's no underlying crime here. But you're right. They took one entry, became 3 or 4 charges: the payment, the check, the ledger, for payments that were $35,000 a month for 6 months. So they take like 3 or 4 a month. Bam, 34 charges.
Every time money moved from one person to another, it's a separate charge. It shows that they are twisting the law in every conceivable way.
They
just
are
to get
accusing Trump of election interference. They are the ones engaging in election interference from every aspect of this. They changed the law so that E. Jean Carroll could sue. They got in front of which Judge Kaplan in that case, and they got their judgment. Engoron, they get their judgment. It's weaponization of and changing the laws like they did in 2020 on steroids.
Dude, and by the way, the only solace that I find in this whole thing is that he's getting stronger and stronger, and people are seeing it, even on the other side. Now you've seen the left start to finally open their stupid mouths, because now they're like, wait a minute, this kind of isn't fair. Kind of isn't fair, my ass. It's absolutely ridiculous. Guys, he has been a threat. They cannot let him win. This is just another tactic. Remember, Hillary did it with the DNC with cheating with the Russian collusion, which, mind you, what'd she get? Like a $8,000 fine and a slap on the wrist? That bitch should be in jail.
The emails.
The
Steele dossier. They're charging Trump with the idea that by buying off this story, it would influence an election. Hillary Clinton paid for that opposition research, which was a bunk. Yeah. Paid for it, mislabeled the payment, gave it to her attorney, who then slipped it to the FBI in a meeting that he said wasn't for his client, and then billed her for that. He went to trial, Michael Sussman, in D.C., gets acquitted because politics is what it is.
Weird.
I won't put the racial side in it, but the man caught with a gun in his hand, acquitted. The man who was never even there, but they said he did it, kill him. And the crowd cheers. So it's it's not just double standards, it's lawlessness.
One question to end on a positive note. How do you feel about the Supreme Justice, like, the Supreme Court?
They had the immunity arguments, the oral arguments last week, which I live streamed, commentated.
Yep.
I was not as encouraged based on the oral arguments as other people were. I'm not playing Monday morning quarterback or backseat lawyer. I think that the lawyer for Trump made some concessions during that I wouldn't have made, that certain allegations in some of the indictments were purely private acts, which necessarily means there will be no immunity whatsoever. I'm of the opinion everything that Trump does, unless he gets impeached and convicted for it, you can't have rogue prosecutors after he's out of the presidency going after what they did not impeach him and convict him for. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But I wasn't happy with it. We'll see. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised by the ruling.
Well, I just hope to God, bro, these guys are like, listen, I'm really looking for the future because I'm thinking past Charlie, meaning God willing he wins. If he doesn't, it's life after Trump. I don't know. Dude, this is the only guy that's fighting for us. That's the only person that's in their way. I don't trust anybody else. He's the one. He came in. He tried to fix everything, and look what they've done, and look where the country is.
I'll end it with a white pill. They've awakened the people to this. So it's Trump at the helm of it, but there's a populist, not revolution, but rather awakening. People now see how fundamentally corrupt the entire system is.
Yep.
And even the naysayers and even the Democrats are getting
They're finally waking up. Well, dude, I hope they wake up. They wake up faster. David, I love you to death. Robert, Connor, Umberto, go have kids, call your wife, start making it happen.
Marion,
Connor, you better get on it too.
Let's do this.
David, you already have a bunch. I need to get on it today. And for all of our regulars, I love you guys all. Thank you guys for being here. New people, please subscribe if you haven't. Right there, boom, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Guys, as I say this all the time, we're in some crazy times, but it's up to you guys. Okay, it's up to us. If you want change, it's going to be up to us. Get loud, get mad, get upset. Like, what's her name? What's her the
network? But don't get violent, people.
No violence.
Get
but
mad as hell, but do it politically and do it peacefully.
Do it peacefully, but guys, we have to disrupt them because they're trying to shut us down. Guys, love each other, take care of each other, and we'll see you guys later this week. Peace and love.